Hey everybody, we're back with another project. This one's going to be this Arctic Cat ATV here, and it's a 2000 model 300 two-wheel drive. And I bought this not running, and I have got it running already. I just had to clean the carburetor pretty much and drain the fuel tank. First time I've heard it run, but I haven't really done anything else to it. So I'll kind of just go over the issues that it has here. It's been ran into something, and the only other thing I guess I fixed on it was the front bumper was basically hanging off of it. These bolts were missing. There's one on each side at the bottom, and so I have a parts machine, so I stole those bolts and went ahead and just put them back in. There should be some metal tabs that go from the rack to the bumper and have a bolt through them kind of in the center that holds them together. So whenever they hit, whatever they hit, I guess it broke the tabs off, or else they finished breaking them off or something, but there's no tabs there anymore. So they did, I guess, have these screwed in at one point, but they're way too tall or too long, and I don't really like that, so I'll probably build my own tabs to put them back. The guy told me the winch worked good. It's got a Warren, I think it's an A2000 is what they're called, but wires are unhooked, and so we'll have to see if it works. I don't know why you'd unhook it if it was working, except for the fact that the bumper was falling off of it. So and then obviously we've got the plastic. It's pretty bad. The rest of it's pretty good. It's just where they've hit, I guess the bumper pivoted back and busted this plastic along the front. They screwed it back together with some sheet metal underneath, and so I don't know. I think I've got some plastic, some front green plastic that's better on a parts machine, and so I may end up using that. We'll see. But other than that, it actually looks pretty good. The paint on the wheels is pretty nice. I think those are the original tires, which means it probably shouldn't have a ton of miles on it. The rear plastic's pretty good. It's got a couple little cracks in it, nothing serious. The paint on the frame and everything's pretty good. The shock bushings, I'll show you on this back wheel, but the shock bushings are notorious for they pretty much just disappear on these machines. I guess they just deteriorate, and then they basically just fall out, break in half and fall out. I guess they're just some kind of rubber. But basically this wheel shouldn't walk up and down right now at all. But you can see in here, hopefully, you can see the big gap right here at the bottom. I don't know if I can lift it on the camera and show you. Yeah. Anyway, it's like that at the top and the bottom. So I have some homemade bushings that I got in a parts lot for my Wildcat, and they will fit with a little bit of modification, so I'm just going to use those. I really didn't like them in the Wildcat. I tried a couple of them, but they need a little drilling to work right. So they seem to fit these pretty good though. And this isn't near as heavy as a machine either, so see, the rear brake light is busted. just on this side. None of the lights are working. I think all the bulbs are just blown, which is possibly due to the voltage regulator. I think it might be bad. On these machines, when the voltage regulator goes bad, they overcharge. And if you got the lights on, it'll blow the bulbs. So voltage regulator is not very expensive. It's easy to change, but it'll blow the bulbs in the headlights and the gear indicators and stuff if you don't fix it pretty quick. And you'll know it because it sounds like a rev limiter. It won't let you actually accelerate. And kind of an odd problem to figure out if you don't, if you're not familiar with these. Basically, it seems like a carburetor problem or a electrical or spark problem. So anyway, it looks pretty good. I've got a seat that's probably better off of a parts machine. This one just needs recovered probably. I don't think the foam's too bad, but I don't think I'm gonna recover it right now. I think I'll just throw another seat on it probably. I do like that this one says Arctic Cat on it. The other one I have has already been recovered by somebody else. It's a little wrinkly, but it looks pretty decent. And I'm trying to kind of put this together on a budget. I'm not wanting to spend a ton on it. I bought it pretty cheap. So it's got a brand new battery. And he told me it sat for a while, so it might be low, but it's holding charge really good. Hopefully it'll start pretty quick here. It's kind of cool today. Yeah. So there it is running. I'm not gonna let it run too long, but choke off. The main problem with this is that it smokes pretty bad. So it definitely needs a set of rings. I have ridden it around a little bit, and I thought it may clear up some. Sometimes the rings will get stuck a little bit, or they'll have some old gas in them, and just a mixture of things. I think I've had some in the past that would smoke, and then after an hour or two of riding, it seemed like they clear up pretty good. But this one, I don't think is going to do that. I think it just needs a set of rings. The air filter is not installed correctly, and it's missing a piece. And the intake boot from the filter box to the carburetor must have had some holes in it at some point. They had tape on it. The guy did tell me he changed the oil. It was pretty fresh. So that's going to be the main thing. I'm going to try to do a top end on it. I'm hoping I can just hone the cylinder, but we'll see. I may have to have it bored and buy a piston, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I do have a couple of parts machines. I've got this one here. This one actually runs good and doesn't smoke, but it's a lot more of a project. And it's been beat up a little more. A lot of the paint on the frame and the A-arms isn't as good. So I'm gonna go ahead and if I need something off this, I'll use it. Not anything big, because I do maybe plan on getting this one running at some point. But the little things that I don't necessarily need on this one, like this piece is missing on that machine, and I think I'll just go ahead and take it off this one because it's not really a have. And the diaphragm in the carburetor on this one had a hole in it, so I stole it out of this one for the time being. I've got a replacement for this one already. And anyway, try not to ramble on too much, but those are the main issues. It's missing the back skid plate. I've got that on the parts machine as well. And I have ridden it a little bit since getting the carburetor going though, and the brakes work pretty good. They could maybe, I don't know if the pads are a little wore or maybe it needs some bleeding. You kind of got to pump them a couple times to get them to really grab good, but I don't think there's any major issues there, but it runs and rides good other than feeling a little loose. I don't think I mentioned the actual wheel bearings, but they're all loose. This is probably one of the better ones. But all the bearings kind of have some play in them. Can't remember which one's the worst. Oh yeah, this one. So anyway, I'm going to just do some maintenance on it that's been neglected. Do a top end and try to get it running good for cheap if I can. So stick around and we'll get started on it. So we'll go ahead and take this rear shock off to do the bushings in it. It's a 10mm for the bottom here. And the top one is a 13 with a 17mm nut on the back side. And there we go. Oh, there's part of a bushing. Right here. That's all that's left of it. You can see it's just crumbling to pieces. And this is the sleeve that would normally go inside the bushing that is still in there, but it just does this. So anyway, and in the bottom, it doesn't have the little sleeve in the rear. It's got this little, mount that kind of makes up for the size of the sleeve. So your bushing just goes directly on this instead of being between the sleeve and the shock eyelet. It's between this and the shock eyelet. So I'll get this wheel done on camera and then I'll do the next 3 off camera. Okay, so here's my new bushing. Like I said, these were homemade by somebody, not me. And I remembered I had them, and they'll work pretty good with just a little modifying for what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to use them. Here's my sleeve. That's a good snug fit. So now I've got my sleeve in there, and now I can drive it into the eyelet on my shock. Pretty nice fit. And then this is the bottom of the shock. It doesn't get a sleeve, it just gets a bushing. There it is. It's ready to reinstall. All right. So our shock will go back on like this. Okay, the bottom was pretty snug, but it's on all the way, and then the top one will just drop right in. I'm gonna put just a dab of Loctite on this bolt. I don't think it's probably necessary, but You could take the wheel off for this, but it's not really totally necessary, so I just left it on. Now, getting this lined up. There we go. All right, I got the nut started. All right, well, I knocked my camera over, so I might as well give you all a better view. The nut started. And that's it. Got new bushings in our shocks. It's good and tight up and down now. So I'm gonna do the 3 other wheels. Well, actually I've already done this one, but I'll do the other 2 fronts and we'll get started on something else. All right, this front left tire is the only one that doesn't seem to be holding the air pretty good. And I checked it, it's blowing bubbles around where it says Dunlop on the side right there. Pressure. Here it is running cold. Probably really hard to see on camera. You kind of see the smoke puffing there. I'm gonna let it warm up just a second and take it for a ride. Just to show, I just brought it in from riding. It's hot right now, but it starts and runs really good. Too bad it needs rings, but that's okay. We'll get it fixed.